All right, 1 second, chat. Hello, everyone. I'm back, and this time I am joined with Awoo, who is going to help me commentate these last 3 or 4 matches as we get into our top four.
Ju-
Um,
Just says she was tired, so I was like, oh, this sounds like a wonderful opportunity to be even more tired.
Awoo has
I
come
am here to
in
ruin
to
your commentary.
our we're just going to multiply tiredness off of each other and create something truly incomprehensible. June the Queen, I misplayed a lot. You played very well. Yeah, it happens, but it was a very entertaining game to watch, and I wasn't expecting you to get that game too. You really pulled it through in the end with those mirror forces. Have windy and
That's the thing about Mirror Force. It is simultaneously the best and worst card at any given point in Junior Journey, because it's so bad that no one's going to play it. But as soon as you see it, it ruins your day every time.
I think Mirror Force is specifically like it's usually bad, so nobody expects it, and therefore nobody plans for it. So it makes like the few people who do use it like soar above. Alrighty, this next match is going to be Spellbox versus is going to be Spellbox versus Dark World. It's going to be a really interesting match. Spellbox has incredibly strong monsters, and if they stick a couple of solidarities, is going to be potentially a huge pain in the ass to deal with. But once Dark World gets started, they have like all the pops they ever need.
I think Dark World is one of the few decks that is really hosed by Village as well.
That's
Like, what are you
true.
supposed
Dark
to
World
do? What are you
really
supposed to
needs
do
their
without
spell.
What are you supposed to do without gates, without card destruction, without Mirage?
Yeah, and that's doubly frustrating because Gates is a field spell, and we're still in the pre-2014 era rule set. So it's going to be pretty easy to take out the world whenever Elruka wants to. That's a pretty good hit right off the bat. Off of Dark Red Enchanter, discarding the Mirage of Nightmare.
Opening Dark Red Enchanter into Dark World is also very funny.
That's true. That is incredibly, incredibly risky. Possibly one that you would want to side out for games 2 and 3, unless Elruka is just really dedicated to living dangerously.
I suppose it depends on what you hit. Because if you hit a Grapha, then yeah, it's like, oh, I get a free spellcaster. But if you hit a Mirage, it's like, oh, I get to win the game now.
Well, there's the Grapha right off the bat. Not the best normal summon in the world, but it's good to get it into play so that, like, if Elruka gets over it, it's just chilling in the graveyard.
To be fair, what are Dark World's normals? They have like Grapha, Dianera, Set, Morphing Jar. They don't have a lot.
That's true. Pretty much it's just normal tour guide like everyone else. Um, well, that's a dark hole.
Man, I can't believe they printed Alistair in 2011. It's just called Tour Guide.
I unfortunately do not know much about modern Yu-Gi-Oh, so a lot of those references are going to go fully over my head. We are getting in with just a ridiculous amount of damage right off the bat. June the Queen, now I have to prepare to lose with my terrible sealed deck tomorrow. What is happening tomorrow? Is Hamilton doing like one of his tourneys?
Yes. It's Phantom Rage. It's hosted in RJ's Discord, if anybody
Oh,
wants to
cool.
join.
Um, I am recording with Sophie tomorrow, so I probably cannot do that. I have like a limited amount of Yu-Gi-Oh I can do. And yep, there we go with the tour guide into the classic Zen mains. Or we're just going into Sangan for right now. That's also pretty good.
I
There's a
mean, a
lot of...
tour guide is a tour guide, but a Sangan can be anything. It can even be a tour guide.
Oh, that's a good warning.
Uh,
Leaves Elruka kind of low on life points, but if they get a good solid if they get solidly ahead in board presence, it might not matter. We
yeah,
know
that's the
that
thing
card that
about Dark World.
Yeah, we know the
Does
card
Dark
that
World have a great comeback? Like Gates is probably their best comeback, and I don't know how well that's going to do against just a bunch of Bungai even.
Dark World comes back if it gets Morphing Jar, pretty much. And
But then
even
your
then,
opponent also gets to come back. So
yeah, that's true. Morphing Jar is a little bit of a crapshoot in that regard.
speaking of morphing jars, when are we unlimiting morphing jar number 2 for all of these degenerate stall decks that actually want it?
Um, Morphing Jar number two may be not as. Oh, that's certainly a torrential tribute. Morphing Jar number two may not be as big of a problem nowadays. The big sticking point, that Mirage of Nightmare, may be exactly what
That
Wendy needs.
that is the comeback.
That
There it
is
is.
possibly catastrophic for Elruka. Unless Windy ends up discarding so many Dark Worlds that are like mandatories that they need to pop their entire field. That is a way that it could backfire. But yeah,
That's the
Morphing
thing, though.
Jar.
You can just order the Dark Worlds in such a way that you don't pop your own field. I think the only ones that aren't mandatory for specials are like
Yeah,
Grapha, which you would use afterwards anyway. So
yeah. So
that
we've
is
got
a very good tool.
yeah, so we've got a giant Trunade here, but Elruka did have to like get yet another one of their set cards sent to the top of their deck in order to pull it off, so they might be fucked anyway. Yeah, the sticking point with Morphing Jar number two was that was the time where everybody was using just like pure Bungus builds. So Morphing Jar number two was just a guaranteed board wipe. Now that we are playing some more synchro decks and some more combo pieces, a Morphing Jar number two can occasionally just be a bunch of dudes. I don't know if it really needs to come back though, because it's kind of annoying.
The thing I was thinking about is, isn't this card just worse Worm Victory? And we like Worm Victory, so why don't we just bring that back? And that is a good floor. And that is a better bottomless.
Uh,
Oh man.
I don't know if anything does it at this point. You can't do Sangan. Yeah, you just are chilling with Zen mains. I going by my choice. I respect that. All right, we have Dark World taking game 1.
Which is given for Dark World. Dark World is a very strong deck that folds very heavily to side deck stuff. It's exactly like machines in that regard, except that
Yeah.
people are actually siding against Dark World.
Aslion. We also have like 20 legal flip effect guaranteed board wipes. Fun fact, I considered putting Cyberjar at 1 for this tournament and then decided against it.
Thank you for deciding against
I
it.
I thought it I similar to the Worm Victory thinking, like we do have a lot of cards that pop. And I'm also kind of amused by Cyberjar in junior format where you can only play a limited number of cards from your hand. But there's
I,
still a
I
lot of
would
cards that
I
can
would
abuse
be
the shit
playing
out of it.
Cyberjar as a draw five. I don't know about anybody else, but Cyberjar reads draw five to me, and draw five is a very good effect.
Cyberjar is the closest thing the TCG has to real life Sanctuary. Card of Sanctuary is the one I'm thinking of, is
Oh,
it?
Card of Sanctity, isn't it?
Card of Sanctity, yes. Cyberjar is the closest thing to real life Card of Sanctity that exists.
Since real life Card of Sanctity is very bad, and it is a real card, you just have to banish your entire hand and field to draw two.
I think it saw play in like really fringe situations, but yeah, by and large, they had to nerf that to hell and back in order for it to not break literally everything.
I may also be misremembering the effect. It's one of those cards where you read it once and you're like, oh, that'll never come up. And then you hear about the anime version and you're like, oh, that'll come up.
the anime version existed mainly because like nobody in the anime built decks that were in any way like
I'm
good
gonna
uses of your.
summon baby dragon, baby.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah,
this
I am
baby
going
dragon.
to unironically play Red Eyes Black Dragon. So, Card of Sanctity was just like the okay, everybody has used up their hands playing these dog shit cards, and we want this duel to go on a little longer, so everybody gets everything. Alright, game two, we will see if Elruka is able to keep up with Dark World this time around. Dark World has a lot of really specific side hate, so we'll see how things go. Wait for Vanilla Errata Red Eyes.
Hey, Vanilla Errata Red Eyes it sure is a card. It sure is a card.
Is there any lore for Red Eyes other than just being fundamentally inferior to Blue Eyes? Like, even Red Eye's alternate dragon is just worse than Blue Eye's alternate dragon. That's gonna be a trap hole on the tour guide, meaning it's just gonna be Sangan at this point. Mirage of Nightmare is a good one.
The Dark World player gets to play the game.
That's a pretty good dust tornado. You can set something you don't want to lose to the Mirage. Alright, now we've got a special summon 2300 guy. We'll see if we can do much of anything with it right this second. You are a little bit quick to the draw, unless that was a misclick. Yeah, just immediately show Windy that the Woo Lord can attack over that.
I was going to say something along the lines of, yeah, it can attack over Dark Magician, which is certainly a card that is played. And
Just
then it loses to Cosmo Queen. And I was even going to say Ice Queen before seeing, oh wait, no, Ice Queen's not a 2400 defense, which is the funniest way to be proven wrong.
I Okay, so I am curious about something. When does Eye of Timaeus come out? Because I really want to make a junior deck with that. I want to unironically summon Dark Paladin.
Eye of Timaeus, I believe that's at Pendulum era at the earliest.
Really? I thought it was earlier.
Yeah,
It could have been
it's a
it
very recent card.
it could have
It
been
could be
released.
late Decker.
It could have been a lot earlier. It's not that powerful.
And never underestimate Konami's ability to just sit on an anime card for 50 years just so they can print it when we're all in retirement homes so that we'll buy it.
And just print it so much, so long after it could in any way be a good card. Alright, so we're sticking the Ice Queen. Okay, Eye of Timaeus is a 2014 card.
All right, so late Zexal, early Pendulum, something like that.
Yeah. Well, in junior format, it still may come up because it's not like pendulum monsters are going to be doing a whole lot. Same as Soul Charge right at hat format. Do Soul Charge and Sixth Sense come out the same year?
Soul Charge comes out the year after Sixth Sense.
Okay, so Sixth Sense is 2013, Soul Charge is
18.
2014. Okay. So
Yeah.
at least we are spacing out the busted shit. We get at least one truly broken card per year.
In the case of Sixth Sense, I do hope that RJ and MBT do the canonical thing and limit Sixth Sense before it even came out.
It'll be interesting. There haven't been any pre-limits or pre-bans throughout the whole series. Full
Well,
power.
well, there also haven't been like pre-limits or pre-bans for cards that came to the TCG, besides
True.
Sixth Sense and I think Temple of the Kings, which like who was playing Temple of the Kings? So
Yeah, Temple of the Kings is not super relevant for our purposes. Yeah, so 2013 is just gonna be big old drooler.
I'm gonna make a 7, and then I'm gonna make a 7, and then I'm gonna make a 7, and then we're gonna unlimit Gravity Bind because honestly, we can just do that in that format.
Yeah,
No, this is
we are.
not an advocation for actually with unlimited gravity bind. Don't do that. That's very mean.
I was going to say that you shouldn't because it's not very fun, but as you get more and more extra deck monsters that pop things, it becomes more and more of a option. God, this format, this tournament made me feel like we shouldn't even have gravity buy and level limit area be at one copy. Just because there's never any interesting reason to use them. Except that I guess those cards aren't as annoying now because you can XCs over them, so that is, at least is like more counterplay, but still.
I mean, the original idea behind keeping them around was that decks that use small guys get to utilize them. I believe that was the idea. But at this
Yeah.
point, decks that use big guys get to utilize them. And at that point, why do we have them around?
Yeah, and it's also like little guy decks don't really need a lot of help right this second. Now that we have Zen mains as an option to keep them from being completely just immediately blown out of the water. That is the Morphing Jar! Alrighty.
It's Twitter thumbnail time.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, fuck me. That is pretty
That is
devastating, actually.
that is an entire board.
Yep. Really depends on what Elruka sets here.
Oh,
Because that floor is going away, the Dark World's going away at the end of turn, and you don't even have Morphing Jar clogging up the last monster zone.
even if the last roll wasn't cocky, you can just make Adrius and get rid of the Sorcerer anyway. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is a big thinking emoji.
Elruka may well be trying to figure out how they don't lose here. Was that MST this turn as well?
I don't wait. What did the MST target though? I
It
don't
would have been
think
the Raigeki break. Okay, we might have a Gores or a
Wall Fader?
Battle Fader. And that's just gonna be the one discard.
And that is the one discard of all time. Goodness.
And once again, nothing is accomplished.
I'm the Lightsworn player who's not even playing in this match and I feel sacked.
I mean, yeah, we don't even really need to be careful about this, do we?
Gores or oh,
Tragodia, that's not
that's
gonna be
not bad.
that's not gonna be enough. Nope, Windy Knight takes it in a 2-0 with the Dark World deck taking over the Spellbox deck.
To be fair, Spellbox did not see a single village, which is the way to hose Dark World with it. So
That
that's
is
all Ruka says when I draw 12 traps, and that sure is a problem. Oh, Starlight Road. That's the
Starlight
interesting
Road
place.
probably should have gone into the side deck versus Dark World. Dark World is almost exclusively popping one thing at a time. That is still an unfortunate series of draws, though, for sure. Um, that is gonna be Kaillens versus Windy next. That's gonna be Dark World versus Hero Rock,
Featuring Koala.
featuring Koala. Okay.
Sorry, as someone who is under the thumb of Big Koala, and I am literally 58 koalas in debt, I do need to preface that yes, there is a koala in the deck.
The koala is not.
It has literally come up this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see it the one Kylan's game that I watched, so that is why I'm more focusing on the um hero and
Yeah, the
rock part of
hero
it
and
because
the
that seems more immediately relevant. All right, Kylan's versus Windy. Down to our top three. Poor Kylan's. It is 3 a.m.
so it's a normal day during a junior tournament.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe if I do this again, I should just make it async. Just like do it over the course of the weekend. Who cares?
That is the thing with double elimination. It will make your tournaments go longer than you expect them to every
Yeah.
single time.
I thought we had a good bracket and everything, but also a couple of people were late, so that didn't help as well.
Even if you disqualified them for being like a minute late, we'd barely be finishing up now.
Yeah, I am kind of hoping for Kailens' sake that Kailens loses to Dark World. Because I do have it the kind of double elimination where if somebody beats Aslion next round, we are gonna need to do one last match.
You could ask Aslion if they want to do like a best of five or something, and then Aslion just like starts with a point. But oh, dusting MST, that is never what you want to see.
God, Stratos is actually very good.
Surprising absolutely no one, a gadget that is sometimes MST is quite good.
Replacing yourself is very, especially in 2008, but still now, is very good for the trap card economy of junior format.
I mean, even in 2006, Sophie was on Pete and the Dark Clown because it replaced itself. Replacing itself is just a good effect.
Okay, Pete and the Dark Clown debatably replaces itself if it doesn't hilariously miss timing. Oh god, are we seeing another Zen mains?
Man, it's just 2012 format, but in 2011, I do imagine 2012 format will also be a lot of Summon Zen mains pass. So,
Yeah. Oh, early 2012 format will be a lot of Summon Supremacy Sun Pass.
nah, I don't even know if Bungus is going to be able to contend in 2012. I do think the format will be that fast at that point.
Why is wind up going to be a problem? Because there was a
Yes.
there was a period where I like didn't have any real life Yu-Gi-Oh friends, but was, oh, that is
That's the
fantastic.
card of all time, baby.
That
Grand Mole
is
versus Zen mains. Let's go.
that is the nut. Yeah, Windy Knight is definitely gonna have to do a big thing here. Yeah, I hate Wind Up with my whole heart and soul. There was a period of time where I didn't have any real life Yu-Gi-Oh friends, so I played it on Dueling Book for a little while, and then I started seeing Wind Up decks all the time in Dueling Book, and I stopped playing it. Although it wasn't even Dueling Book at the time; it was Dueling Network.
Is
But
Green
yeah,
Network? Yeah. Uh, to be fair, I don't think the way windup was good then, where it just loop your whole hand. I don't think that's going to be that much of an issue. The problem is just that it summons three carriers, passes, and then next turn it summons Obelisk. And decks aren't even running Obelisk right now. It's just Frog again. It's Frog. But get this. Since they have access to Shark and Magician, they can also make fours, which includes My Stroke the Symphony Djinn. And you're like, oh, My Stroke, that's just another Zen mains. Who cares? Because there's a 3 called Musa Rhythm that doubles the attack of all attacking Djinn XYZ monsters. So they have a 3600 in the extra deck.
yeah,
So
that
I
does
don't think
sound.
Fungus really cares.
Yeah, that sounds potentially problematic.
And you know what the funniest part is? Inzectors, the other cards that were really good at that time, can technically search. They have an Axe of Despair that is searchable because it's an Inzector card. And
Yeah.
then they can equip Gigamantis onto something. And then they can make a Giga Brilliant to make 3700 to out the stupid wind up combo to make 3600.
Oh god, Inzector is
So
absolutely going to be an issue. Yeah, Inzector is a big way to just cheat the one spell activation per turn. All of my spell cards are monsters.
well, their Axe of Despair is literally a spell card, but
Oh,
other than
okay.
that, yeah.
So it is a. Well, that's going to be the one trap card per turn, but that leaves Kylan's in not a great situation. Although the Great Tornado is just like permanent, so that does sweeten things a little bit. Or is it not?
No, it is permanent.
Oh,
Kalen's
okay. So
is
that
just
token should have 1150, right? Not
yeah.
that it matters, but Kylan should
Yeah,
increase.
Kailens should also have 1150 more life points, but
There we go. So now
oh,
Kylan's knows that he can attack over Grapha, so God, Mirror Force is pretty good in this format. It was
Mirror Force, it's the eternal, but are they or aren't they?
that would fucking screw over Kylan's a fair bit if he runs into a Mirror Force at any point in this, except now it won't.
No. Now it won't completely fuck him over. It will still fuck him over a bit.
Yeah, he still ends the turn with no monsters in that situation, but looks like he's not gonna have to worry about it right this second.
Uh, I was gonna say damage step dimensional prison, but that's pretty bad too.
Yeah, that might be the end of this game.
It depends on whether or not Windy has a single normal. Oh wait, no, he does. Never mind. He has
Oh,
lethal on board.
There's a Grapha in the
And,
graveyard.
yeah,
Oh, and that
there's a
is
graphite
Dark
grave,
World
and then you can
Lightning,
normal the gold.
and it didn't even
And the
matter.
set's even a bait. Oh no.
Yeah, Kaillens has to have a Tragodia, Battle Fate, or some kind of situation to not die here. Yeah, sure, that works. You can just search another one. Why not? Yeah,
Oh,
thanks to
Windy was
Grapha, you
trying to
don't
play
even have
around
to.
with the gold if it didn't exist. Oh man.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's it. Um, the
that's
wind
Dark
el
World.
the wind elemental hero's buff didn't even last because of Grapha. All right, so that is Dark World on a bit of a tear right now. This does make me feel good about banning card destruction. I am going to say that is Dark World making a pretty good attempt for second place in this tournament.
To be fair, the only reason that Dark World did not get far in the last tournament is because it immediately ran into Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. So
That's true. Windy needed to come back with some kind of strategy to deal with that kind of side, and in fairness, they did a pretty good job. They have the
that's it.
they sided in the one discard monster that's actually a light monster. So whenever you discard that, you can pop the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and then you're good.
Well, there is technically the rest of the Fables that are discard light monsters, but if you are running the rest of the Fables in your Dark World deck, you are not winning games.
Just like yeah, Windy was just like playing a couple. It seemed very much like like game 2 and 3, like they were siding a couple in for that reason, and it worked well for them. They got this far. Hats off to Kaillens as well, though, for getting a Warrior Rock deck this far. That is also cool as shit.
I was gonna say, how do you on Hero Rock even side against Dark World? What is the thing you should be doing?
I mean, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Oh wait, I think I don't know if Wendy is listening to this stream. I hope I'm not revealing anything, but Kylan's was playing End of Anubis earlier. So that is
Wait, haven't
also
Windy and Kylan's already fought?
what?
Haven't Windy and Kylan's already fought? I remember seeing like a Dark World against an End of Anubis before.
Yes, actually. This is a rematch that is happening right now. Kylan's beat Windy Knight earlier in the tournament.
Ah, so now Windy is coming back with the most ultimate of buffs, sleep deprivation. I appreciate that. That is a true villain arc.
Well, I will say this is the kind of thing that makes me like double elimination. So it'll be interesting to see how things go from here. If Windy Knight can clinch it, that's a good start.
Just draw it every game. Just draw it
Just
every game.
draw
There's
the. Well, in fairness, Windy Knight is also running a 40 card deck, which is a little bit uncommon in junior format, hilariously. Oh my god. Although this is End of Anubis, so it's not as good as it could be. Yeah, that is going to stop the fabled Catsith.
the end of Anubis immediately coming up.
Yeah, that is a good way to start things off. We're gonna get a discard here, and there's not really a good one with End of Anubis up. And that's not a particularly good one.
To be fair, it is one of the worst ones anyway, because even if they out the Anubis, could have used that battle fader. It
Yeah.
could even stop the attack of an end of Anubis.
Alright, has Windy Knight found the Grapha? That's the main question. Nope, but we did find the tour guide. So we absolutely proactively attack with Zen mains here, right? Yes, 1,000,000%, making sure the Mirage of Nightmare is online going forward. Woohoo! That's a good one. If Kylan's draws Heavy Storm, the game is essentially over, though.
as is the case with most decks.
Yeah, true. Lila, that's pretty cute. Um, all three of those back row are potentially really good though. And it looks like
Especially that one.
Wendy isn't even gonna leave it to chance. That's just an immediate wind blast. That's a pretty good one. I'll take care of the Zen mains.
And that is the expected target.
Alright, so we get two discards here.
And how many of those two discards are Sinister Serpent?
Oh,
Actually,
they're
none.
both
Okay.
really good trap cards. Not a great Mirage of Nightmare for Wendy.
Wendy at least still has a handful for gates, yeah. So
Yeah. Ooh, and that's a very good one on top of it.
it just occurred to me this deck's banishes actually do matter because of Leviair, don't they?
Yes, they do. Leviair is also a really cool card that hasn't seen a huge amount of play. I guess we're really respecting the Gores right here. Okay. I don't
No, no,
know if
no.
that's the
It's
right...
just a set you battle. Don't worry about it.
What? It's a
It's
set you
just a
bell?
set you battle. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
cool. Okay, so we would have lost the Grapha, but the Grapha is so easy to summon from the graveyard. I'm still not certain that the less proactive approach was the best one. Um, unless that's a morphing jar. If that's a morphing jar, then Kaillens may be turbo fucked. No, it's just a Sinister Serpent.
What?
All right. There's a card in Kylan's graveyard and everything, so this Gaia plate isn't even like...
Well, there's
Well, I
not
get
now, I
not...
think.
I guess not anymore. So that is going to be...
Nope, I guess now anymore. All
Oh,
right.
fuck. This card can banish from the hand as well. Okay.
Not only is that a 4,000 attack monster, it's a 4,000 attack monster that blanks Morphing Jar.
Oh no. Just cannot get... Just having no luck with these discards. Okay, that's
Oh,
not
that's
bad.
that's not bad.
Yeah. Not getting it though. Want to hit the Mirage of Nightmare. I mean, yeah, that's the Grapha. That will take care of one of these two problems. We're going for the Dark Gaia first.
It is a fiend, so Gaia Plate cannot banish it.
True. And that's just going to be a tour guide. Assuming we're just going into Zen mains again. Oh, are we out of fiends already? No way. No shot.
There is.
Oh, it's
Wait.
in hand.
Okay.
Well, that's actually kind of good to have less cards in hand for Mirage.
Well, it's good and bad. Depends on the draws, certainly.
Oh! Ugh!
And there's the Heavy Storm.
Oh god. Oh, these are the reasons that you play the Dark Bribe. Oh yeah, Kaillens has to banish the Grand Mole.
So that it can be summoned off Leviair later. Really, I don't know why you would want to bother banishing it.
Alright, sure, we've got the Prisma. And we are just sitting for now. God, Windy
That
Knight
is
lost a lot of
very
tempo
good.
there, but we still have the fucking Grapha. Oh, and we also have Gates of the Dark World. Now that Grapha is just a 3k dude. God, it matters so much for junior format that Gates of the Dark World increases by 300. It matters so much for the Dark World deck being good that Grapha at its best is a 3k dude.
I mean, 3K is the usual bar to clear for junior format if you're just trying to stat up guys. It's been that way since 2002, and despite every effort to the contrary, it hasn't really changed.
Alright, so now there's not a rock in the graveyard, so we are losing the Gaia Plate. We're gaining a Lila, which was bounced with Wing Blast earlier. It's not really a great proactive strategy, though, especially because in defense mode, the Zen mains can take out the Lila, leaving Kaillens open to some really big hits.
I'm almost wondering if it's in Kylan's best interest to even leave the gates up. Well, in this case, it certainly was.
Oh, it was.
But other than
Ooh.
that,
Uh.
no, to leave the gates up just so that Windy can deck himself. Two serpents to hand as well. Oh boy.
Yeah, things are not looking good for Kylan's game plan, but they are looking kind of good for Kylan's sleep schedule. Oh yeah, that's just it.
No matter what happens, Kylan's is winning.
Yeah, if we don't have something to
Okay, all right
discard,
then.
that is
Hmm.
just fully the end of the game. Yep, that is Dark World in second place. Congratulations to Kylan's on a really good deep run with heroes. Sweet.
Now it is round one of grand finals featuring that one guy who is always in grand finals in Dark World.
Aslion, you really need to fucking stop doing this. Um,
That's the thing
alrighty.
about Aslion. Aslion will just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna bring a for fun deck. It's whatever. And then he still goes 12-0. It's like,
Well, it's also
why?
like, the makeup of decks in this tournament were really, really interesting. There's no quick draw plants, no light sworn, no zombies, missing a bunch of the decks that we saw last time. So it may also have been that they're I never win the weekend tourneys. Oh yeah, you just win the ones that matter, Aslion. But yeah, it may have just been like the weird makeup left the space open for weird shit like Dragoonity to go the distance.
I don't think Dragoonity is weird shit either. It's probably the best synchro deck, like other than plants, which
Yeah,
I mean they're plants.
Ducks is one. Ducks and Phalanx
Phalanx,
are both in
Phalanx
crate.
alone is just a card. It's one of
Yeah,
the cards of Ultimate. It's so good.
it all comes down to this. So, just to remind any viewers who are still sticking around of the stakes, Aslion, if he wins this game, takes the whole thing. Windy Knight will need to win 2 matches in a row in order to take it.
It's the junior card. Everyone look at the junior card.
I was gonna
Why
play.
is this the opener? Why is this the opener? This is not a good opener.
BS Tetran is a great opener because if Aslion doesn't have an out to it, Aslion can't set something, so he gets behind on tempo.
Actually, that is a good point. Against Dragoonity, it probably doesn't matter quite so much. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, oh yeah, that's just a massive swing in. Why would you allow that? But
It does look like Aslion has the out here though in the Zen mains. I was gonna play Ice Barrier, but I'm glad I switched to Dragoonity. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, June. Ice Bear. I will say it would have been funny and fantastic if you had played Ice Barrier. They are at least like rogue deck level, which is unbelievably funny. But Dragoonity has a lot of cool shit in it, and I'm glad that a couple people were representing it, and a couple of people who are doing pretty well, nonetheless.
I think the amazing thing is every single hidden arsenal archetype thus far has been playable to some degree. I don't think all of them have been like, good or entirely playable or
Oh,
playable
that's such
beyond
a
just
good
Titano,
hit.
but every single one. Oh wait, oh, that is a card to hit too. Heesh.
Yeah, that is the balancing agent of Morphing Jar. That's why I'm kind of like, I really think some kind of hit to card destruction is at this point necessary. I'm not so sure about Morphing Jar for situations like this where it just turns into a huge waste of your normal summon.
To be fair, any normal summon would have been equally wasted. The problem is it's morphing jar, so it feels a lot worse.
Oh no! Oh dear.
Anyway, I thought you said this was a Dragoonity deck.
I mean, hey, it is a dragon and Windy Knight, depending on his back row, may be feeling a little shitty. So it's kind of like Dragoon itty.
I'm just gonna let that sit in devastating silence.
I
So the
I
prime
was hoping
material
that you
dragon
wouldn't.
means that, huh? That is a choice.
Um, even if Aslion doesn't have Serp, it's still pretty good to discard for Prime here. That is going to be Windy's one trap per turn.
Dark Horse. You're sure this is Dragoonity? You're positive?
It's
I'm
just
going.
a, it's
I'm
just
going to
like
make this joke as long as Aslion draws like this.
it is just Dragoonity with also like the really strong dragon monsters that just litter this entire format.
It's Dragoonity the same way Blackwings are Seamorg, right?
Prime Material Dragon versus Dark World is kind of rough. Yeah, you never compulse here.
No. You
Ooh.
compulse targeting your own Zen mains. Of course.
Okay, so at
I
least
think he's
Windy has a
thinking about
big
discarding something
guy,
else
but
I'm mad
any
at, but
like Dragoonity recycler, yep, that is a Dux. If Aslion sticks this, Aslion is not going to stick this. Alright, but Windy is still way behind on life points and card advantage, so still not a great position to be in. Furthermore, if that card is Morphing Jar, that's really good, but if it's pretty much any other card in Windy Knight's deck that can be set, it's really bad.
if it's any other card, why would it be set right now? If it's a Dark
Because,
World, you bounce it for Grapha. If it's a Tour Guide, you summon it for Zen mains. And if it's not that, then it's like a Battle Fader, and why did you set it in the first place?
that's actually a
It
good
has to
point.
be
I wonder
exactly
if
Morphing
Windy
Jar.
Knight forgot about the Grapha.
If that's the case, then this is an excellent bait. But otherwise,
I think it probably makes the most sense for it to be a morphing jar at this point.
oh, it could be a Sinister Serpent.
True. Oh yeah, that's probably just it.
Um, wow, I love Dragoonity. Dragoonity is such a cool, such a cool, interesting synchro deck that does so much.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
the
god!
battle fader though.
And that gets a battle fate. Yeah, that's
Oh,
oh,
we're
or
not
not,
even
or
we're
not.
not even doing
Come
it.
on.
Okay. Sure.
I think that
I
makes sense because how would you follow up? What would your follow up be? It would have to be like exactly Gates, but you have no fiends in hand.
Yeah. That was kind of a rough one. Both Dark Horse and Blue Eyes White Dragon are at one copy.
Just draw the one of.
True. Yeah, and it had to be a card along those lines. The Prime Material Dragon by itself wouldn't have been game on Windy. Although you're kind of right that like Windy just didn't have a follow-up after that point, unless like the Morphing Jar went off. Hmm. Alrighty, we are heading into game two. Aslion can end it all by winning right here, right now.
Put yet another trophy on the wall of Garfield.
Yeah, either Aslion has to win one game or Windy has to win four games. So it is looking rough. God, and
I don't
after
know.
such a
If
cool
Windy wins
tournament, Aslion.
two, there's a buffer.
Wait, what's that?
If Windy wins two, there's a buffer. It's okay. It's balanced.
um, that's rough too that Aslion won without even doing any of the cool Dragoonity plays. It was just big guy beats.
In theory, that's also what Dragoonity does. Like, they just make Vajrayana, and they either make an 8 or they make Vajrayana 38.
Yeah.
Since I don't think there's much of a reason for Dragoonity itself to go into its other synchros. So,
I'm also wondering if Windy Knight has the electric viruses inside. It's kind of interesting this format because Marionette Might is so very strong, and you run into the question of whether or not you want to run multiple ones of those kinds of cards.
well, the thing about Marionette Might, gee, say that 7 times fast, is that you can also run a card like Zombie World, and then it's just always active.
Zombie World is so fucking funny. Um, I cannot bring myself to play it, in part because in the run up to the tournament last week, I was playing a couple of zombie mirrors, and it's very rough to play a zombie mirror and activate Zombie World. Because then you are giving your opponent access to every card in their graveyard as well. And you are making the one synchro that summons a zombie from your opponent's graveyard potential barn burner.
I mean, as
Alright,
long as Sorcier is legal, I would not worry too much about that. And Tetran takes out a dust tornado. It it's always like that. You just MST the spot removal.
Alright, not getting in with the attack right off the bat. Which makes sense. It's a fucking Tetran. It's gonna be an MST on the back row.
Choosing whether or not to chain wing blast here.
Yeah, or Raigeki Break. Not going for it. I guess Wendy doesn't have the Sinister Serpent on hand.
It's the boy.
Everybody is just drawing their one of this game. Jesus Christ.
Cannot believe we are unironically on Tetran again. We spent 3 years bashing this card, being like, it can come back to 3. What's the last thing Tetran's done? And now here we are in grand finals with a pair of Tetrans staring each other down.
I need to make like a list of like top 10 funniest cards junior format has made relevant sometime. There
Uh,
are
the entire the entire top 10 is just Ultimate Obedient Fiend. It's just Ultimate Obedient Fiend.
I have to leave some
No, 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 no,
space for
no.
I
Nine
have
copies
to
of Ultimate Obedient Fiend, and the 10th is Goblin out of the frying pan.
I was going to say there's no way I can make that list without Storm Shooter. Storm Shooter
Yes,
may
but Storm Shooter is also funny Fluanderese tech. So you can technically play it in Fluanderese. You shouldn't, but you can.
Storm Shooter is, yeah, it's technically playable in Fluanderese, but it's just uniquely so powerful in junior format and has stayed as such since the time that it was released. It's still seeing play in Zenmain's format. Okay, so we're just getting in with the tour guide for now. That's a little rough, but it's probably better to take it out rather than letting Aslion sync with it.
I mean, it does draw you a one of.
And it's from the legend, and it's from the legendary JJ set of Cyberdark Impact. Do you think Konami knew when they printed Cyberdark Impact that it would be the worst set in TCG and the best set in junior format?
Well, it's certainly like the worst GX set in terms of being a GX set, but that's a very low bar to clear. The thing is, like, half of Cyberdark Impact has become relevant over time.
Yeah,
Like,
it
the
had like
further
a
we
lot of
go from,
situational shit, yeah.
like, I think there's like 8 or 9 cards in a 60 card set that haven't seen some form of play, which is insane. If we had that on like a pack today, it would sell out instantly. Konami would become bajillionaires, more bajillionaires.
Okay, that is gonna be an 8. Nothing that really takes care of the Zen mains, although we can get rid of all of its material, which is pretty nifty. Yeah, and then we are just left with a naked Zen mains.
It's fine, Twitch. Don't worry about it. We're not doing anything troublesome. And sometimes it's just a Dark World moment. You just gotta get in with even shittier monarchs.
Yeah, Windy Knight hasn't really managed to find any starters after losing Mirage of Nightmare first turn. That's going to be the Blue Eyes that we found off of the White Stone. Probably just get in for damage at this point, yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were gonna say that we found the blue eyes on the floor in like the back of the closet. I was gonna be like, that's probably true for this blue eyes.
I really appreciated. So, first of all, MBT's series right now, Broke Boy Yu-Gi-Oh! Thoroughly enjoyable. Highly recommend it. I appreciated the most recent episode where they both, Danny and Joseph found the exact same copy of Change of Heart that was like mega bent, like completely destroyed, and was therefore like 10 cents, and both used that version of the card in their deck.
Wait. That's illegal. They can't use the same card.
By the rules of Broke Boy Yu-Gi-Oh,
For
they can.
Yu-Gi-Oh, they can, but it's technically the same copy. So I do think it's funny how like there's a significant portion of that comment section that is just arguing about whether or not the change of heart was legal for both of them or neither of them.
I mean the oh no. That is a shadow imprisoning mirror. There may not be any coming back from this.
Sure, there is. Discard Katsif.
True, but that would require Windy Knight to find one of their starters first.
Oh, yeah,
Ooh. Yep,
yeah,
that
that
is
hurt.
really, really
That is
bad.
pain. That is true pain.
That will all change in the finale where they buy their decks. Yeah, this is just a full-scale disaster for Windy. That is a good compulse, though.
We do still need to see like a Gates and a Grapha or something if we want to like get over this Blue Eyes though. And even
Uh-oh.
then, that oh,
Oh, we have the DD Crow. We do not lose the
and because
game.
and because it's in the hand, it is not affected by Shadow Imprisoning. Absolutely insane.
Okay. Yeah, DD Crow is also one of the best sides of this tournament, without a doubt. Although Aslion
Oh,
did still have the correct read on that tiny monster being like a little dingus. So we still are on the 1 turn clock.
the thing is, even if it was like a level 5 Dark World, they all have 1400 defense, so the Dux was always safe.
Oh
There's a
gosh.
Gates. Is there a Grapha in the future?
And then we're discarding a Grapha, which doesn't get its effect. That is about as good of draws as Windy probably could have gotten in this situation, and it may end up not mattering. What have you got, Aslion? Oh! We are all the way down to
It's
100.
100 life points.
There's still hope. Any
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 Dark World
Dark
does it. Any
World,
Dark World does it.
yeah. No! Oh, that's the Sinister Serpent. Ooh.
But what's the set? No. No shot.
Not
No.
okay.
Not like this. Not like this. You can't. You physically cannot.
That's it.
No.
Oh
What?
god!
Serpent.
Aslion played a
Oh.
cool deck, won a lot of games in cool ways, and in the end just went full on beatdown. Rest in peace. Oh god.
To be fair, the one time he tried to do the cool Dragoonity thing, it got crowed. So the Catsup was in the hand the whole time. Oh no.
Oh, that
Oh.
is rough. If we had better combinations of cards, we could have done it. If we stuck the Mirage of Nightmare for longer, we could have done it. Aslion played this game very well, and I congratulate him for winning his 50th junior format tournament.
It's not 50th. It's actually like 10th or 11th, but it's not 50th.
It's quite a few. Oh god, that was a 5.5 hour tournament.
Welcome to double elimination. It just goes like that.
Yeah. Well, I will say, as long as it went, I had a good time. We saw a lot of cool decks. We saw a couple of crappy decks that didn't get terribly far in the tournament. God, Aslion won a lot of 2-0s though. That's unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes, I guess.
To be fair, who was siding against Dragoonity? Like, you were not prepared for this deck. No one
Everybody,
was prepared for this deck.
yeah, I guess people just were not prepared with the electric virus this time around. Well,
And those are the deck lists in the graveyard, and that's the duel, and that's the tournament.
yep. Thank you, Awoo, for stopping by and helping me get through these last couple of games. I
Have a nap, yes. Just go
yeah.
take a nap.
Yeah. That is the plan. I am gonna end it here. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much, June, for stopping by. It was great to have you. I hope you feel validated in having played the deck that won the tournament, even if it was not the deck list that won the tournament. And yeah, I will see y'all on this stream next time. Goodbye!